Most doctors don't leave residency knowing how to run a business. And that gap is exactly what makes or breaks a private practice. Hey, I'm Jamie. I'm a practice consultant who's worked with physicians across the country, helping them start, grow, and actually enjoy running their own practice. And I can tell you that doctors who struggle the most aren't struggling because they're bad clinicians. They're struggling because no one ever taught them how to run a business. And if this is you, you are not alone. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 key things that most private practice owners wish they knew before they started, so you can avoid the hard lessons and build something that actually works. Number 1, you're not a doctor anymore, you're a business owner. When was the last time someone actually taught you how to run a business? Never, most likely. You spent about 11 to 16 years learning medicine, but almost 0 time learning how to run a practice. Medical school didn't teach you how to build, hire, manage, market, or what cash flow means, just to name a few things. Then you open a practice and suddenly you're responsible for all of it. That shift from physician to owner is a completely different skill, and most doctors are shocked with how much time goes into admin, not seeing patients. To succeed in private practice, you don't just need to be a great doctor. You need to be a strong business operator. And that's exactly where physicians struggle. And it's completely fixable once you understand what to focus on. Number 2, the insurance decision will define your first year. One of the first and most important business decisions you're going to make is how you're going to get paid. Do you actually know how long it takes to get paid after seeing the patient? If you're planning to take insurance, here's what a lot of physicians don't realize. Credentialing alone can take anywhere from 90 to 180 days. So that could be months of seeing patients and not getting paid. Then, once you're set up and actually billing insurances, it can take anywhere from 30 to 90 days to even get paid. Also, reimbursements have been dropping over years, and on top of that, 1 in 4 claims get denied, which means more admin, more delays, and a lot of unpaid work. And that's exactly why we're seeing more physicians move towards cash pay models and direct primary care models. Not because they want to, but because it gives them more control, faster payments, and better margins. And one of the biggest mistakes doctors don't even realize is that a hybrid or cash pay model is an option when they start. Bottom line is that you need to figure out how you're going to get paid before you even start your practice, not after. Number 3, costs are higher than you think, and revenue takes longer. Do you know how much runway you actually have before you even need to be profitable? Most physicians underestimate this. Startup costs alone can range anywhere from $70,000 to $450,000 depending on your specialty. And that doesn't even include your first year salary, which we highly suggest you factor in when you're asking money for the bank. Then there's the delay in getting paid, which I mentioned a bit ago. Again, with insurance, you're often waiting 60 to 90 days before you even see your first payment. Meanwhile, your expenses don't stop. And overhead in private practices typically run maybe 50 to 70% of your revenue. That's why most practices need at least 6 to 12 months of runway minimum. Number 4, getting your first patient is harder than you may think. What's your plan in the first 90 days to fill your schedule? Opening a private practice does not mean patients just show up. Referral networks take time. They could take 1 to 2 years. And while you can't actively solicit to your old patients to come to you, you can make sure that you are all over the internet so that patients can find you when they're looking for you. At the same time, patients are choosing which doctors based on what they see online. So your Google reviews, your website, and your online presence need to stand out. Now, this is something that Business Savvy Physician excels at. So schedule a call with us if you need help. The link is in the description. Bottom line, if you want your schedule filled up early, you need a patient acquisition strategy before you open your doors, not after. Number 5, retention is where the real revenue is. Are your patients coming back, or are they just coming in once? This is where most practices quietly lose money and they don't even know it, because a single patient shouldn't just be one visit. Their lifetime value can be anywhere from $1,500 to maybe $10,000, maybe even more. But if patients aren't coming back, then you're never going to realize that value. And on top of that, no-show rates of 10 to 30% can silently drain your schedule and your revenue. And here's another problem. Most practices aren't even tracking their no-show rates. They're just focused on getting new patients and have no idea they're losing the ones that they already have. If you know you're losing patients and why, then that can be a simple fix. Something as simple as an automated reminder and follow-up system. It can make a huge difference. Keeping a patient is far more profitable than constantly getting new ones. Number 6, hiring the wrong person early can set you back months. Do you know who was your first hire? Would you hire them again? Your first staff member is one of the highest leverage decisions you're going to make because your front desk and your MAs don't just support your practice. They are your patient experience. And when you hire the wrong person, it's not just their salary. It's the cost of recruiting, training, and the damage that they did on your brand. A lot of physicians hire out of urgency. They just need help quickly. But in 60 or 90 days, they realize it was the wrong fit. And on top of that, you have employment laws, HR issues. And on top of that, employment laws and HR issues can catch new owners off guard. So the lesson here is slow down on a hire, but make sure you're doing a good job onboarding. That's what protects your practice. Number 7, busy does not necessarily mean profitable. Do you actually know your profit per patient visit? A lot of practices look busy, but are barely breaking even, or they may even be losing money because revenue and cash flow are not the same thing. After overhead, profit per visit in some practices can be as little as $15 to $40, and it usually comes down to overhead creep. Maybe too many staff, too much space, or services that are underpaid. The problem is most physicians aren't tracking this. So they stay busy, but have no idea if they're actually profitable. If you don't know your numbers, revenue, overhead, profit per visit, you're flying blind, which is exactly why we created the KPI dashboard, specifically for this. To learn more information, the link's in the description. So if you're thinking about owning your own practice, or maybe you've already started, just understand this. Running a successful practice is more than just delivering great service or care. It's about building a business, one that attracts patients, keeps them coming back, and acts profitably without burning you out. The physicians who thrive long-term aren't the ones necessarily seeing the most patients. They're the ones who understand their numbers, build the right systems, and make smarter decisions. And if you want a clear real-time view of your practice, what's working, what's not, and where to focus, watch this next video on the one tool that every practice should be using. See you in the next video.